Good morning. Today's thought: success will never lower its standard to accommodate us. We have to raise our standard to achieve it. I am repeating: success will never lower its standard to accommodate us. We have to raise our standard to achieve it. Students, today we will begin with new chapter, lesson number 6, natural regions. Take out page number 30 of your textbook. The first paragraph is the activity which has to be conducted in class. So we will move to the second paragraph on page number 30. Everyone take out the textbook. Natural regions. There exist a number of different things in the world than those we see in our surroundings. We see different educational and informative programs about wildlife on television and we become curious to know more about it. So you might be also watching various sort of television program. We have various channels: Discovery, Natural Geographic, History. So you can see various channels. So there is lot of information regarding various part of the earth, countries is given in this program. So when we look at this, we become more curious and we want to know more about it. There are differences in terms of landforms, climate, soil, etc. in the different part of the world. So we know very well, even if we talk about our country, there is a difference in landform, climate, soil. North side we have cold climate, soil is different, climatic condition are different, lifestyle is different. As we come to the middle part of a country, again it is different, and as we move southern, southward, there also we can find the difference. So similarly, such differences are found on the whole earth. Various countries are there and every country are having, or every land is having its own landform, climatic condition are different, soil is different, and accordingly they have developed their culture and lifestyle. This difference is mainly due to the availability of sun and water in that region. In the previous chapter, we have learnt about how the different temperature zones are formed and how the air pressure, distribution of air pressure is there on the earth. So for temperature zone also, the most important reason is the sun rays. So here also the sun and the water are the most important reason for such differences. Difference in the landform, climate and soil is greatly influence the flora, fauna and human life and give rise to the variations in biodiversity in different part of the world. So because of such climate difference in the soil, there is influence on flora, fauna, that means the living world, plants, animals and also human life. So biodiversity, that means variations. We don't find the same sort of plants or animals or life throughout the earth. There is variation, there are differences, large diversity is there. On other hand, there are similarities of climatic vegetation and animal in different continent that is spread between the parallels. So when we talk about the parallels, because these differences we have already talked about, it is only because of the sun rays, the sun falling on the earth and the water. So when we talk about the parallels, so according to the parallels there is a difference. We have seen it in the previous chapter. So these differences are seen. We know very well that at the equator we have a certain temperature zone. Then again above the equator and below the equator the temperature zones are formed because of the sun rays reaching on the earth. So in that parallel lines, whatever region of the land comes, they are having the similar climate and temperature. The similarity stands out as a distinctive feature of this region. As these regions stand out on the basis of natural factor, they are called natural regions. So because of the natural factor, that means the climate, the soil, the sun falling on the earth. So all these are the natural factors. That's why these regions are called the natural regions. So the regions following under a specific parallels which are having the common climate and other factors. So these are the natural regions. The natural environment of such regions affect the living world including humans. The entire land area on the earth can be divided into these natural regions. So obviously near the equator there is continuous perpendicular sun rays. So specific form of climate is formed, specific natural region is formed. So accordingly, according to the sun rays and water availability, the climate is formed and it is divided into various natural region. So let us see this in the lesson natural regions. Now you can turn to page number 32 of your textbook. One by one we will see the regions. Horizontally we will see the regions are given. One region at a time we will consider. In your textbook it is given in a tabular form. First is the tundra region. So the tundra region location and extent. I have shown you the map. In the world map, the orange color you can see, it is the area covered by tundra region. Location and extent. It lies between 65 degree to 90 degree. 90 degree means the upper south and the north pole, the polar regions which are very cold. So 65 to 90 degree parallels both southern and the northern hemisphere. But here we are dealing only with the northern hemisphere because already we have seen in the previous lesson that very less amount of land area is there in the southern hemisphere. The countries which falls here are Greenland, North Canada, North Europe and North Asia. Climate. Mean summer temperature, that means approximately almost the summer temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. Mean winter temperature is minus 20 to minus 30 degree. Minus 20 to minus 30 means it is extremely cold, it is frozen. And mean annual rainfall is about 25 to 300 millimeter. Extremely cold climate, life is very difficult here. We have already seen in the previous chapter that at both the polar regions there is extremely cold. So minus 20 to minus 30 degree, we even can't imagine how cold it might be. So this is the location and extent and climate. You have to keep this table in mind. You have to go through this table and region wise you have to by heart it. Now natural vegetation of tundra region. Short-lived vegetal life. Here the trees don't grow very big. They are short and they are for very less time because most of the time it is covered with snow. So vegetation is not possible. When there is the temperature rises, when there is the change in the season, at that time we can see the vegetal life. Short grass, short shrubs, flowers are there. We can also see the lichens and moss. Now obviously it is covered with the snow. Continuously there is a cold climate. That means snow means water again. It is a form of water. So we find here lichens and moss. So lichen is a, in the red color I have given the meaning, is a composite organism consisting of fungus and an alga or cyanobacteria growing together in a symbiotic partnership. Here lichens and moss means ज्याला आपण म्हणतो शेवाळ. जी शेवाळ असते, फंगस असतो, that is lichen and moss. I will show you the pictures further. So here first lichens are given. You can see small white color. जसं बुरशी लागते. If we keep the food for some days, so we can see the fungus. So lichens is a kind of fungus. And moss. If we visit the forts or old temples, especially during the rainy season, old structure, they will have the moss, such green color. So here also because the land is throughout the year covered with the snow, very cold. Again, snow is a form of water, so we find the moss and lichens here because of the water present there. So these are the lichens and moss. It is there present in the tundra region. Animal life. Now obviously in such a cold climate life is very difficult. Only few animals are able to survive in such an extreme condition. You might have already seen the polar bears. So these are the animals, the pictures which are shown, that can survive in that extreme cold climate. It is caribou, reindeer. Reindeer you have already seen or heard about it, especially during Christmas. We have heard the stories, the carriage of the Santa Claus, it is carried by the reindeers. So they are also found here in the polar region. They can survive there. Caribou, again it is a type of reindeer. These are the other animals in the picture which are shown: polar bear, fox, walrus, seal, then snow leopard, the wild birds, penguins. So these are found in the extreme cold weather. These animals are having a thick fur to protect them from the extreme cold climate. Human life. So obviously when we are talking about minus degrees, minus 20 and minus 30, so we can imagine how difficult the life might be. So here the human population is very sparse, very less population is there. Living depends specially mainly on hunting and fishing, because agriculture is not possible as the vegetal life is very short. So here people are dependent on hunting and fishing. This is the main occupation of tundra region, people living in tundra region. They live in hide tents. In the first picture it is given hide, already we have seen. Hide means the skin of the animal. In the previous standard, 5th standard, you have seen that when there was cold temperature on the earth, first human, that is primitive man, they used to cover themselves with the hide of the animal, that is the skin of the animal. Similarly, these tents are also made from the hide, that is the skin of the animal. Other picture you can see the igloo. It is a house made of, again, ice, snow. From inside it is insulated and it is called as igloo. You can see the picture. In the third picture, the man who is peeping out from the house. It is having a very small door. We have to move inside by crawling only. We can't stand up, so that there will be heat inside. Opening is very less. There are no windows. And the last picture you can see the family inside the igloo. So it is a small house where these tundra people, they are called as Eskimos, they live. The people who lives in tundra region, they are called as Eskimos. The tough life is there. It is very difficult to live there. Thank you. So students, go through the textbook, read the tundra region. You have to read it horizontally. In the next period, we will see the next region.